face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see. Around Town Radio Show is where I go for the latest band info. So Around Town Radio Show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio Show. The All Around Town Radio.
All right, everybody. Having a few technical audio difficulties getting on the air today. But we're here. Hopefully you're hearing us all right. Welcome to the program on a Monday. This is Backstage Hall Pass Weekend Update. It is. Here's our disclaimer, people. Just in case you need to know this, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors and any entities they represent. That's what we got to say about that. All right. Let's see who's checking in today, if we can. It's that time of the day. Yes. There we are. Thank you, sweet Sister Mercy, for that theme song. We love you for that, man. And a great band there giving it to us today. All right, let's see who's checking in. I've got to check the old tote board here. It looks like Maria's in the house. How you doing, Maria? Steve Stein has joined us. Debbie Manning. Brenda Lee is here. Hi, Brenda Lee. Thank you for being with us. Hannah. No, Hannah's out there, and that says Maria, but it is Hannah. So, Hannah, thank you also for being here. Wanda Bone of the Boneyard and a Rock Show. We're going to chat about them here in just a few minutes. George Orr in the house from Rockstar Band. Good to have you with us. How y'all doing? It's been a crazy Monday here in the studio. It has lots of things going on. Get a lot happening. Lee Dixon from Kevin McCoy Band, and Lee Dixon doing his own thing tonight with an open mic night at Trillions. If you want to join him there, hit it up. Velvet Crush Unplugged in the house. Thank you. Hollywood, good to see you today, my friend. As always. Oh, the lovely voice like butter and cayenne pepper, Gina McCann. Love you, Gina. Gina, you know what? You're a class act, too. I love your support for CFG and family yesterday when they won that Blues Challenge. You guys bringing in the second place spot, and I know you're fantastic. Nobody has to tell me that, but certainly there's City Blues Society in the house. Glenn checking in on YouTube. Thank you, Glenn. 9404 is here. Got a brief little snippet about them. I didn't get to see enough of them this weekend, so we'll chat about that in just a few minutes. I want to see more of that band. I got in there late. Derek Allred, how are you? From Marsha Brady, we're going to talk about them. Sean Cooper from Mulattoes in Miami Township. What's up? How are you, Sean? Thanks for being with us. Live music every Wednesday at Milano's, guys. You can check it out there on 741 in Miamisburg/Miami Township. John Barry said a great weekend. It was a great weekend. Eric Sears, I got to see him on Thursday. We're going to chat that up in just a moment. And Bill checking in. Wild Bill Video is in the house. Jim McCarthy, my producer, is here. How are you doing, Jim? And yes, Gina, I just love your spirit, my dear. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful voice. You do. I got to see some video from that. Too bad I couldn't be there yesterday. I'd love to have seen that Cincy Blues Challenge go on. So here we are. Let's hit it up today, guys. Let's talk about what we did over the weekend and what I want you to do if you can. And we're going to ask for it on the page today on this show. So I'm going to post the show later on the page as well. That's going to ask a question about who you saw play over the weekend. So it's your opportunity right now to drop it in the comments. I'm not going to be able to read all of them, but if you can drop it in the comments, who did you see play music this weekend out? We'd love to have them in our comments on the show today. And also, if you happen to see any of the bands we saw over the weekend, please comment on those likewise. Oh, yes. Jim said, nice to run into Hollywood and his lovely wife, Mrs. Hollywood. That's Lady Hollywood's the way they refer to her, just so you know, Jim. From here on out, you will never refer to her as Mrs. Hollywood again. It's Lady Hollywood at Crimers, yes, for the Billy Rock Band. And Maria's tagging 9404 in the thing. I hope I'm saying that right, 9404. I hope I'm saying it right because, I don't know for sure. I don't. And Rob, thank you for tagging Tars. That's who you saw over the weekend. Thank you. All right, I'm getting it right. Derek said I saw Scott Hall. Thanks, Derek. I saw you, man, and I love your drumming style always. That was fun. And Jody saw that Arena Rock show at the Phrase. Said it was amazing. I think it was amazing, too, and we're going to talk about it here in just a moment. But let me get started. Deep breath. And I want to thank those of you who shared our Thursday show, Who's Playing Out, sponsored by Froggies in Monroe each week. They sponsor our list of the best musicians and venues in the tri-state and where they're playing. And I want to thank you all for sharing that. We had about 3.4 thousand views, a little lower than what we're used to, but that's all right. It was a busy weekend. People were out and about. And I'll take 3,000 views any day because I remember when we started and I was happy to get 100. So we'll take that. 3.4 thousand on the show on Thursday. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, if you will. We don't tweet much, though. And yes, we do have a TikTok page, but I have yet to dive into the pool on that one. I'm just learning. I'm just mastering reels on Instagram, people. I'm old. Remember that. And it takes me a while. It does. It does. Butch Snyder checking in on YouTube. Thank you for that. Thank you. And Debbie, what do you got to say? All right, there's Debbie's. All right. Like I said, guys, if you want to post in the comments who you saw play over the weekend, we'd love that to happen. Let me roll through some things here, if I can. First of all, today, the 12th of June, is National Beef Jerky Day. How appropriate. I made some over the weekend. And Peanut Butter Cookie Day, just in case you wanted to know what holidays it is today. That's all I got to say about that. Tom, thank you for those comments. Keep them coming, people. We'd love to see your comments roll in on the show today. And don't forget to hit the share button. If you know anybody in the bands we're talking about, we'll hit that up as well. And I want to kick it off for Thursday night. Let me back up to Wednesday. Name that tune. I do it at Heather's every week. 38 teams and over 300 players who braved the weatherman's toxic, smoky atmosphere and were told on TV not to come out, but they did anyway. Thank you for not listening and coming out and having fun with us. And nobody died. I'll just throw that out there. Get those reservations in if you want to play Name That Tune this week at Heather's. It'll be a big one, as always. And if it rains, we have you covered under the patio seats. We can hold about 300 under the tents. So please join us. Join us. Travis is throwing one in there. He said he played a show at Riverfront Live a couple years ago with Arena Rock Show. They are super nice guys. Some of the best people you'll meet there, Travis. Really, really a good group. And I'm going to comment on that, too, because, you go see a Motley Crue show, and it's pretty raunchy. But Arena Rock Show, they keep it family-oriented and make it a great party. And from 8 to 80, people were partying, man, watching those guys play. And we'll hit that up hard here in just a minute. I'll try to throw your comments in, guys. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for being here. Try to throw some of your comments in as we go here, but I'm going to be talking quite a bit about our week. So Thursday night, I hit up Mr. Burroughs for just about an hour. Didn't make it down to the jam. Hit up Mr. Burroughs for Kevin McCoy and Eric Sears. As always, both these guys, pro players and singers. And I really love the vibe they got going on, a really good vibe. They're doing a good thing. I always miss Lee when he's not there, but certainly a good thing going on with Eric and Kevin. They kind of hit it off together really well. And the way they complement each other on their guitar work and their singing ability is just fantastic. And Mr. Burroughs is so receptive for Kevin McCoy and any combination he comes in with. And they're learning to really love Eric as well. I was talking to some folks sitting at the bar, and they were telling me how much they were impressed with Eric's vocals and Eric's ability to interact with the crowd. So good stuff. And thank you, fellas. We all had a little shot together there, and that was nice on a Thursday night. It's always good to see my brothers from the Kevin McCoy Band. Trying to work it out to get down to their show this weekend, at least for a little bit, trying to get to their show where we're going to listen to their release party at Lori's Roadhouse. So we'll chat about that a little later on in the week if we can. Hi, Braden. Thanks for joining me today. Mike from the Whammies, thank you for being here. Throw Hollywood's comment in there, who he got to see over the weekend. He had Willie Nelson's granddaughter there at his place. Good stuff. Raylan Nelson. And that guy, he's a mover and a shaker, Mr. Hollywood is. You're gonna see a lot more of him. I guarantee it. Guarantee it, I do. Yes, thank you, Jim, for some of those. We'll leave those up and leave them in the comments if we will. All right, let me talk about Friday. This is really what I'm dressed for success today. Talk about Friday, big night for us. Went to the Phrase Pavilion. I've not been to the Phrase all year, and I used to go to the Phrase every concert, and I've kind of backed off some of that, but haven't gone to the Phrase all year, and all I can say is, wow, what a great time we had there. We did. If any of the Phrase people are listening, I'll just say this. I know quite a few of your staff members. They're very nice people. They're very good to us. There's a few not so nice people at the gate. Tell them to smile. I'm not going to lead out with anything more than that. I just want to leave it at that, but just tell them to smile a little bit. Be happy, because we're all happy coming in to see a rock show. We are. And let's talk about Arena Rock Show at the Phrase. What a great time. What an amazing time, I must say. And, when you go to those kind of shows, you expect, you're going to pay a little more for drinks. It's a concert. It is. And the Phrase does something really cool. It's called $5 Fridays. And this was one of those where you get a ticket for $5 if you buy them in advance. And I'll be darned if Arena Rock Show didn't bring about 4,000 people into the Phrase Pavilion. And that says a lot for those guys. Now, I'm partial to Arena Rock Show. I'll tell you that because I've known these guys since since they were singing karaoke. I'll say that. And they did something for me years ago when they were first kicking it off, and came in, and actually we did an 80s trivia night, and they played guitar riffs and things like that on the stage that people had to guess. We had a blast with them. And I've known these guys since they were just the little people, and now they've got their own tour bus. And what a cool thing that is. But let's talk about the support act before Arena Rock Show hit. Let's talk about J Frost 5 for a minute. Now, Jamie Kress, great friend of mine. I've known Jamie. Jamie actually worked for me when I owned a nightclub years ago called the Odyssey Club. That's where Jamie kind of got his teeth cut as a DJ. And Jamie, I could see stardom in him back then. He was a dancer. He was one of those guys that was in the boy band dance groups, I guess, for lack of a better term, back in the 80s. And wow, he was Jamie Kress is a class act, and he has played all over the country. He's toured all over the country. And Sean Frost playing drums as well. Amazing stuff. And I will say that J Frost 5 increased the pulse rate of the 4,000 plus crowd and got everybody in the mood for a night of rock. And the uniqueness of their act is really cool. A drummer DJ combo. You look at that when it's set up on stage, you're like, oh, this doesn't look like much up there with all that other stuff. They come out, and the scratching, the booming kick drum that Sean's got going, and their personality on stage, you just can't help but get the adrenaline flowing when those guys start. And they do a great job. And they kept it going for the remainder of the night. I mean, they kicked it up, and Arena Rock Show just segued right into the power crowd, and they had a blast. So J Frost 5 playing a variety of music, nothing that was in Arena Rock Show set list, but throwing songs out there, and Jamie doing his mix master thing that he does that just amazes me, because I remember the old days when we had 2 Techniques turntables and some vinyl, and we were trying our best to beat mix. And Jamie's doing things with the computer and the sound and stuff that's just absolutely off the hook good. B-Man's on here, John Bolio. I got to give him a shout out. He brought the group on, actually, and did the big intro up there on stage for him. And it was great to see the B-Man, and I got to bump into him for a minute. So B-Man, formerly of WTUE Radio, a Dayton staple, a radio host with the most. We're trying to work out a deal where B-Man can come on one day, and I want to do a Wednesday with the band with him because I want to talk about B-Man's history in radio because he's been everywhere. I mean, he's met some of the greatest people in rock and roll. He's sat in the studio with them. I mean, from Van Halen to Jackal to you name it. And he's personal friends with a lot of those people. So I think he'd be a great one to have on the show. So hopefully, let me take a deep breath. We can get B-Man in here and to be part of that. And he says, anytime, brother, I see that comment, B-Man. I'm going to hold you to that one, my friend. And it was great to see you at the Phrase. You did a wonderful job of getting the crowd cranked up a little bit. Short, sweet, and good. And, always throwing out the fun stuff to the audience. So J Frost 5, got to give him huge props. I could talk all night on just those two guys alone. Jamie, I got to see him. He came out in the audience a little bit after the show and sat with us for a few minutes, got a chance to chat with him. And what a great time it was to see those two back in action. They took a little hiatus for a while, and they're back together doing some wonderful things. And, it's the rock and roll business. Sometimes it doesn't pay the bills. You got to do other real jobs and things, and they have those. So those guys came out and warmed up the crowd, doing a fantastic job. Diana, I'll throw your comment in there. Thank you for that. And I saw I missed a few up there, guys. I'll try to get to them if I can get them in today. I see a bunch of people talking about who they saw over the weekend. Please drop those in the comments. We'd appreciate that very much because it is Monday and it's our weekend update. And, we like to hear who you saw and who you were hanging out with over the weekend. So let me get a couple more up here. And Jody has given J Frost 5 a big shout out. Yeah, July 4th, Arena Rock Show going to be at River's Edge in Hamilton. So if you didn't catch them at the Phrase, you can catch them down in Hamilton at River's Edge. And I'm going to tell you, I put it on the page today. Go see them. Go see them. Now we're going to talk about them. Deep breath again. All right. B-Man, how'd you keep the breath when you were doing all that talking, man? Well, I guess you didn't talk for 30 minutes straight like I need to. But still, it's hard. All right. That Arena Rock Show. If you've never seen it, the name of the band says it all. It does. It's a huge production, and it's an arena rock show from start to finish. It takes all those bands, and from the 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, you've got bands that played huge, massive arena shows, and they're recreating this entire image and atmosphere. From the first chord of Kickstart My Heart that night, they had a big old treble hook in the mouth of the crowd, man. They had this crowd hooked. And start to finish, Arena Rock Show cranks that amp to 11 and keeps it there. And there's no slowdown. There's no mellowness to the show. It is one giant party. One giant party from start to finish. And I can't say enough about them. Their vocals, their music visuals, and more, their lights, their sound, everything is an entire package. And boy, have these guys come a long way. And I don't want to say they were anything but good when they started. And yes, he did the smoking guitar, Diana. He did. It was in there. And he smashed the guitar at the end of the show, which is his signature trademark thing to do. But so I'm amazed that a kid that I knew when he was just singing karaoke named T-Bone, we'll leave it at that. That's his stage name. I'm amazed that he can even speak after 2 hours of those rock songs we love and know the vocals are so hard to do. He hits them. He does a great job. And some of those songs are in your wheelhouse. Some aren't in your wheelhouse, and he makes it work throughout the entire show. And it's hard sometimes to hit those notes. I know. And he's not only is he singing them, he's not in a studio doing it. He's out there running around the stage like a madman, making all this happen. So it's really great when you have a front man whose voice and vocals are that strong and certainly consistent from start to finish. That's what he displays. He just gets out there and does his thing. And he's always been an entertainer from the old days when I used to see him. Certainly, yes. Yes, vocals are very hard to do. They are extremely hard to do. And I want to say another thing about T-Bone as well. He did a Whitesnake song, and I judge a lot of people by this song that sing 80s covers. And let me tell you, he took it to the next level. Took it to the next level vocally. And if you can hit the high note without a pair of magic pliers squeezing somewhere you shouldn't be squeezing, certainly he did it. He got that note, and he's an amazing performer as well. So hats off to T-Bone as we talk here. Their guitar work is phenomenal. It was great to see our good friend Timmy, I'll call him Tracy Page, who dropped out into the audience for a bit before the show, and we hung out, and it's always great to see him. I used to see him a lot at the Bell and the Bear, and don't get to see him as much anymore because they're touring every damn week. But really, really some good stuff there. And let me get into, let's see, Rob said he's met T-Bone. Thank you, Mike, for that link there to their show. I appreciate that. And yes, he said he met him, very down-to-earth guy. This is a guy that gets on stage and sings all these debauchery 80s rock songs and never once says a cuss word. I mean, doesn't have to. And that means the crowd can be 8 to 80 and nobody's going to get offended and they're all going to have a good time. And when you looked at that audience of 4,000 that night and everybody's banging their heads and singing along, that's magic. And that's what Arena Rock Show was. It's just, I can't say enough about it. It's an amazing thing. Yeah, he's very entertaining, Mike says. Absolutely. And Jody got to see him in Key West at Rock Island? Yeah. 5 nights in a row. I don't know how he would do that. Honestly, I said he probably won't speak for the next 2 days after what we heard that night. So let me get to the guitar work, though. First of all, guitar work, Tracy Page, Nikki Starr, amazing stuff. And these guys, Nikki playing rhythm and Tracy playing lead. The visuals, the colorful lighting, my God, the geysers, the smoke, the fire, the video wall. It's just a hugely entertaining production. I will say that. And each member stands out throughout the entire show. Sometime through the night, they do it. And what'd she say? Sang the next night in Corey, Indiana. Yeah. Those guys, Mary, thank you for that. They have a heavy schedule this summer. And let me mention, first of all, that there were other things, but the caliber of musicianship for each one is great. Nikki Starr on rhythm guitar, bassist is Brady Savage. These are their stage names, okay? I know some of you know them personally. Lead guitarist Tracy Page. And What About Eruption? We'll talk about that. Ryan Rocket on drums. And those of you from the Cincinnati market know Ryan very well. There's all the glam of a rock show. There's all the heaviness of a rock show. And they just take command when they get on stage. And our friend Tracy Page, his Eruption with, his overalls, his 5150 overalls on, and then into the Star Spangled Banner, man, was epic good. And the way they put this together with the video wall and everything else is very, very professional. Their set list contains things like, oh gosh, I've heard them so many times. I'm going to try to remember. Poison, Whitesnake, Guns N' Roses, Ozzy Osbourne, Twisted Sister, Quiet Riot. Cinderella gets thrown in there sometimes. And even Metallica at this show, which they hadn't done, I think. I think they debuted their Metallica Inner Sandman that night, and that it was off the hook. So, the set list isn't always like from the 80s. It's got your Aerosmith, Alice Cooper in it. You name it. Queen was in there, and Tristan changes wardrobe for all this, and they have some props on stage and some. The ladies come out and are part of the show as well. It's an amazing thing that you can keep an audience engaged for over 2 hours and keep them right in the palm of your hand. and it's awesome. So I mean, I could talk all night about them as well, but anybody that's a product of the '80s, you need to go see Arena Rock Show. And it's just it's good for all ages too. If you're at one of those events where it's all ages, yeah. And yes, I think Hollywood, that may be my stop on the 4th of July. I don't know. I may have to come see you there at River's Edge that night. I just might have to. I had so much fun with them. And let's see what Jody said. Yeah, she said was their first time, was on point. It was excellent. And that's a good addition, because then it grasps another audience, sucks another audience in that maybe is from that era versus being from the era of Motley Crue, Poison, and some of those. So hopefully the younger generations will continue to follow this band as well and love what they do. They were an amazing band. We had an amazing night under the stars at the Phrase. Couldn't have been any better. I will tell you, the weather was perfect for the show that night, and got to see so many old friends there and people who were there in support of this little old local band here that has made good. They're traveling the countryside and rocking like rock stars. So we're proud of them. Glad I could be a part of it that night at the Phrase Pavilion. And I'm looking at comments here. Wanda, you're most welcome. Good to see you and Wesley as well. It was. And yes, Diana says, a photographer, I worked really hard to keep. Yeah, I mean, Gabriel, our friend Gabriel, was taking shots there, and you could see him. He was running as hard as Tristan was back and forth on the stage. And those guys move, man. They're everywhere. So yeah, I can see where it's a photographer's nightmare sometimes to capture that right shot of them. I got a few shots. Some of them are really crappy. They're on our page. Some of them are decent. So we've got a bunch on our page that I took just from my seats. And that's kind of where it is. What do we got here? Well, Jody, thank you for that. Yes, we appreciate it. And the ladies that got there and are part of the show too, that's always fun and entertaining as well. And yeah, Steve says Gabriel is awesome. Gabriel, yeah, he's a great guy. Got a chance to see him as well and talk to him. I hadn't seen him in years. I mean, really up close and personal. So yeah, it was fun. So I've got to move on. I got a few more items I want to talk about, and I don't want to shortchange the other groups that we got to see over the weekend. So let me go on to Saturday at Heather's Cafe. And Ryan Wingate, you're a rock star, my friend. You hide back there around the kit. I couldn't get great shots of you, but that massive drum kit, it was great to bump into you out there before the show too and all that. So great show, my friend. Always, always. Marsha Brady Band at Heather's on Saturday. Derek on the drums. Yes. Mike singing lead. Yes, Gregory on bass. Gregory Be Good on bass, right? And Ben on guitar. And then Louis Adams running sound. Had a great time with Marsha Brady. And always good to see those guys. Again, they're in Cincinnati a lot. Kevin said Marsha Brady was awesome. Thank you for that. And I will say, I'm looking. Oh, yeah. I'm looking at comments. Sorry, guys. I got distracted. I will say it's an interesting mix sometimes when you're dealing with weekends and all the festivals and outdoor events that are going on. Sometimes the local every week bars will take a back seat to that. Now, they had a good crowd. Don't get me wrong. They had a good crowd. I had wished it would have been a sellout crowd for them there on Saturday night. But they had a decent crowd at Heather's. And tons of festivals going on. Lots of the local bands that are in the area up here playing those festivals. So they draw people to those. And, people go get their festival food and hang out and listen to a band and do all that fun stuff. But Marsha Brady Band plays a really wide variety of music, from dance music to rock and roll to country. Gosh, they were playing Prince. It's a wide variety. And I am so blown away by Derek's flamboyance behind the drums. I'll call it that for lack of a better term. He is a visual drummer, and I love watching him play. I used to joke all the time in some of the clubs we went to. I'd sit and do my air drum sticks and spin the sticks. Well, Derek's really doing that stuff behind there, and it's always fun to watch. But big shout out to those guys playing a great variety of music, and hopefully you'll get to see Marsha Brady as well. I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say here about some of them. And Glenn's throwing in a shameless plug for himself. He said he got an autographed guitar from Martina McBride. That's nice. I'll take it. And hey, Brady, thank you so much, man. Great show on Saturday. Sorry, I've never met Brady yet. He's I won't call you a new addition to the band, but newer addition. And I knew Eli and some of those guys. So it'd be nice to meet you sometime and hang out and chat a little bit. And maybe we can get Arena Rock Show on here one day when they're on the bus going somewhere. We'll get them on the show and have them chat with us. That'd be a lot of fun. And Derek, we had a great time. Man, it was great hanging out with you, sitting there just enjoying a nice quiet night, drinking my signature drink called the Hall Pass at Heather's. Might have had a few of those. Might have had a few of them, I just got to say, that night. Thank you, Hollywood. I love you, brother. I love you. And that was our first part of Saturday night with Marsha Brady. Then I made myself leave because I wanted to go see, and I believe me, I wanted to just hang out with Marsha Brady. We were having fun with our friends and everybody there. I got to see DJ Brad and a bunch of people that were there, but I ran up to Mr. Burroughs on the way towards the house and stopped in to see 9404. And I apologized to 9404 because I had gotten in there late, had a few adult beverages, and didn't get a chance to write anything down that I should have about the band. But we are going to see them again, and we are going to talk more about this band, 9404, who had Mr. Burroughs having a great time, the crowd in there having a great time. Got to see, I saw Erica, and let's see who else was in there. We had a bunch of people in there that night. And 9404 playing a nice variety of music as well that had the crowd entertained. They were focused on the band, which is always good because you can go into Mr. Burroughs and tell right away if the band's good or not because the audience is focused on them. Otherwise, they're just chatting at the table. And Mr. Burroughs has normally really good bands. Don't get me wrong, but at times the crowd can be a little inattentive if they're not into the music being played. And that night, you could tell they were definitely into the music being played for real. So I will get more about 9404. We did talk about having them on Wednesday with the band to introduce everybody to them, and we're going to do that as well. So a great Saturday night with Marsha Brady at Heather's on the patio, and 9404 for the last 30 minutes or so of their set at Mr. Burroughs Tavern. Hot Topic Tuesday coming your way tomorrow. Karis is back. We had Melissa Singer-Reed last week pinch hitting for her, and she did a great job. But Karis is back with me. We'll let you know the topic in the morning. It'll be posted on the page, so watch that. And then Wednesday with the band More Than Zero going to join me. More Than Zero will be in the house at noon on Wednesday, so you can join that show as well this week. I want to thank everybody for a great weekend of music. If you will, guys, please post in the comments who you saw play over the weekend. I want to give a big shout out to our friends from CFG and family, winning the Cincinnati Blues Challenge as a band group, and also Jimmy D. Rogers for taking the spot in the solo artist. They're going to go to Tennessee, be in Memphis for the big international, and that'll be fun. We'll look forward to seeing how well CFG and family does. I hope they win the whole damn thing because they deserve every bit of that. They're a wonderful band, awesome people, and deserve every bit of that. Johnny Fink, Gina McCann and company, they came in second. Johnny has won numerous times, and he's been represented Cincinnati. And Johnny does a fantastic job as well. And with Gina, it's a powerhouse combo. It is. See what we got here. Some last-minute comments. Debbie congratulating Jimmy and CFG and family. Thank you for that. And, first year at Element Eatery. I heard it went well. So I'm glad to see that show went as well as it did. And Valerie, thank you for your shout out to CFG and the family as well. Thank you, Jim McCarthy. I love you, my brother. Thank you for that. And Cincinnati Blues Society will be on Hall Around Town on July 12th talking about, or Cincinnati Blues, not Society. It's Blues Fest. Yeah, we are. Cincinnati Blues Society will be here talking about the Blues Fest on July 12th. So join us then, people, too, if you want to find out all about that. Jody, thank you so much. We appreciate you. And guys, I got to cut out of here. We've been running way long. We're 35 minutes into this on a Monday, and that's way too long to keep your interest. So thank you. Don't forget to hit the share button on it if you would. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're in the comments today or watching after we're live, please drop the comments on who you saw play out over the weekend. We'd appreciate that very much. We'll get some pictures I took at 9404 up maybe later tonight. For those of you watching that, I just didn't get them in today. Sean Cooper, thank you so much, and thank you for the weekend. We had a great time with the grandkids at your place there at Milano's, having a little lunch. It was wonderful. And yes, Steve's looking forward to his Haul Around Town radio gear. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for that, because I'll take a minute at the end because everybody keeps messaging and asking. Let me put this up here real quick. Our support local music apparel. You have 6 more days to order. The link is on our page in several posts. There's some look at the back of the shirts. There's our friend Glenn at the Railbird Music Festival. You got tank tops for the ladies, T-shirts for the adults and kiddies. We've even got hats, people. We got hats. We got it all. Beanies. I don't care what you want. It's on our link. Hit that link. Our friends from 937 Inc. will have those made for you and send them right to your door. It's a real simple process. And you got 6 more days to do it. So, I talked to Amy the other day from 937 Inc. She's like, what is going on? These people are ordering like crazy. I'd love to hear that. And coming to you real soon, little contest we're doing here on All Around Town Radio, where you're going to have the chance to take a picture in that shirt at some location. And we're going to pick a monthly winner. We are. So if you're out of town, I had him from Antigua the other day who came into the show, and one that came in from the Dominican Republic. So if you're on a vacation, you take your hater shirt, All Around Town Radio, take a picture in it. We'd love to have it. We would. Thanks for watching today, everybody. We're going to get out of here. We'll throw the theme song in from Sweet Sister Mercy one more time as we leave the show. I'll see you tomorrow with Karis and Hot Top Tuesday at 5 o'clock live right here on All Around Town Radio. Bye, everybody.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see. So All Around Town Radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So All Around Town Radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio.